just 6 hours time, Jake Paul and Ben Askren will take part in the most anticipated celebrity deathmatch of all time. In this video, you're going to get a preview and recap of the entire event. It's sure to be an illustrious display of athleticism and expertise, so please make sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, Napoleon Dynamite had sex with a statue from ancient Greece, and 9 months later, Ben Askren was born. His claim to fame is being on the receiving end of the fastest KO in UFC history. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is famous for being the man who looted during the BLM protests despite being a multimillionaire, thinks England is a city,
England is my city,
and is also the proud owner of the second most disliked YouTube video of all time. The build-up has been nothing short of exhilarating and has led me to believe that Jake Paul thinks that by acting exactly like Conor McGregor, he will end up fighting exactly like Conor McGregor.
Here in Atlanta, Georgia.
He even did his own avant-garde workout. Some haters will say that they think the fight will look a little something like this. I, however, would point you to Ben's greatest fighting weapons: his well-insulated gut, his face palms, and he also wears flip-flops, so if all else fails, he can just take one of them off and hit Jake with it. He is, however, a middle-aged man who openly admits to playing frisbee golf.
I live to frolic.
So it's unlikely he'll be able to get into Jake's head or anything like that. Jake's greatest adversaries have come in the form of an out-of-shape gamer, a basketball player, and mistaking his low IQ as being a symptom of CTE, before being politely told by the internet that in fact he is actually just mentally retarded. Inside sources report that Jake's secret weapon in this fight will be using his giant robot as a tag team partner if he gets into trouble. Ultimately, we can speculate all we want, but we do have to watch the event to know what happens. So here we go. Mario Lopez, Snoop Dogg, and fucking Pete Davidson were all stoned and drunk throughout the entire event. Oscar De La Hoya was definitely on cocaine. He was incoherently babbling about the USSA from the commentary booth, whatever that's supposed to mean. I think he might have meant the USSR, but I'm not too sure. The early fights were just low quality fights between out of shape old guys. A cringy slapping contest hosted by Flair. Rick has poor circulation or something because he is as red as a fucking beetroot. Somebody needs to wheel that guy off to the retirement home. I'm not trying to be mean to Rick, but I would not be surprised if when his granddaughter's friends come around, he possibly sexually harasses them. Frank Mir did really well to go the distance with Steve Cunningham because Steve Cunningham dropped fucking Tyson Fury 7 years ago, so that was good. The co-main event ended because one of the fighters pretended to take a low blow when they didn't. The musical interludes took up more time than the fights themselves. The music was random artists that have recently blown up on TikTok, and then basically medleys from rappers that haven't been relevant in 30 years. At one point, Pete Davidson asked if Snoop Dogg or Diplo would bang his mother. Pete Davidson also goes into Jake Paul's locker room, talks to him for a while, then goes into Ben Askren's locker room and then bitches about Jake Paul to Ben Askren. That was a high point. Michael Buffer introduced Ben as Ben Askew, and how apt that turned out to be, because of course, as I'm sure you know by now, Jake fucking demolished Ben in one round. Maybe it was an early stoppage, I don't know. The referee called it. He said Ben stumbled, so he didn't want to let him continue. He probably could have went a little bit longer. It was a little bit early, but it was pretty fucking embarrassing. I thought Ben landed some alright shots, you know. We're gonna have to deal with the insufferable Jake Paul for the foreseeable fucking future. One person I think he should fight is fucking Tommy Fury off Love Island. Great social media presence, brother of Tyson Fury, and most importantly, he'd fucking lose the fight, which of course is the main reason why that fight will never happen, because Jake doesn't want to lose. More likely to fight Jake next is probably somebody like Dylan Dennis, a shitty striker who basically Jake can keep padding his record with. Guys, thank you so much for watching that video. I hope you've enjoyed the preview and the recap of the event. It was a fun event. Triller are really leaning into that boys club vibe, that chaotic vibe, that kind of stripper, sexual, fuckboy vibe. I like it. I'm not hating on it. I like freak show fights. They never really deliver in the end. You're always left with a bit of a sour taste in your mouth. So